Hello everyone, Nayan Dev here. Time to look at a game where I was on the receiving end of a tough loss. Let's see what went wrong. 1. e4 white opens with the king's pawn. 1. c5 I play the Sicilian defense, one of the most fighting responses. 2. nc3 white plays a common setup, the closed Sicilian. 2. nc6 I develop a knight, supporting the center. 3. nf3 white continues developing the pieces. 3. g6 I go for the fianchetto variation, preparing to put my bishop on g7. 4. ng5 a very aggressive move. White attacks the f7 pawn right away. 4. car5 I develop the queen and challenge the white knight. 5. bc4 white develops the bishop, putting more pressure on f7. 5. na5 I immediately challenge the attacking bishop with the knight. 6. nf3 white takes the easy route and retreats the knight. 6. nxc4 I capture the bishop, winning the bishop pair trade. 7. White castles, securing the king. 7. bg7 I fianchetto the bishop, which is now very powerful. 8. re1 white connects the rooks and improves the rook's position. 8. bxc3 I trade the bishop for the knight, eliminating a defender. This might be a mistake as it gives white the bishop pair and opens the b file. 9. bxc3 white recaptures, accepting the doubled pawns but opening the b file for the rook. 9. nf6 I develop the other knight. 10. k2 white improves the queen's position and supports the center. 10. car4 I bring the queen back into the action, eyeing white's queen side. 11. d3 white solidifies the center. 11. 6 I centralize my knight, preparing to attack the text c3 pawn. 12. k3 white moves the queen to a more central, safe square. 12. qxc2 I grab the pawn on circa 2. This is the start of big trouble. Grabbing this pawn allows white's pieces to swarm my side of the board. 13. qxc5 white counter-attacks, getting the pawn back. 13. b6 I push the pawn, attacking the white queen again. 14. qb4 white retreats the queen, keeping it active. 14. qxd3 I grab another pawn. This looks good, but white is getting a lot of compensation. 15. g3 white creates an escape square for the king. 15. qxf3 I bring the queen to the attack, a greedy move that allows the white pieces to activate. 16. re3 white develops the rook, attacking the queen. 16. qh5 I retreat the queen, keeping it active on the king side. 17. c4 white pushes the pawn, restricting my pieces. 17. bar 6 I develop the bishop, connecting my rooks. 18. c5 white pushes the pawn forward, opening lines. 18. bxc5 I capture the pawn, but this is a critical moment. 19. car5 white brings the queen to a very aggressive square, pinning the bishop and rook. 19. nb7 I retreat the knight, defending the bishop. 20. car3 white keeps the pressure on the queen side. 20. ng4 I jump the knight to an aggressive square, attacking the queen and the text h2 pawn. 21. rb1 white brings the rook to the open b file. 21. nxh2 I capture the pawn, but now the king is in extreme danger. 22. reb3 white's rooks line up against the king. 22. qh3 I push the queen further into the attack, threatening checkmate. 23. rxb7 white sacrifices the rook. A stunning, brilliant move. 23. qg2 plus I am forced to check the king. 24. kxg2 white captures the queen. This is completely winning. 24. bxb7 I recapture the rook, but I am down a queen for a rook. 25. rxb7 white gets the rook back. 25. Finally, I castle, but it's too late. 26. kx2 white takes the hanging knight. 26. rfb8 I try to trade rooks, a good idea to simplify. 27. rb2 white avoids the trade, keeping the pressure on. 27. c4 I push the pawn, hoping to create a threat. 28. f3 white defends the pawn. 28. d5 I open the center. 29. exd5 white captures the pawn. 29. road 8 I centralize the rook, attacking the pawn. 30. re2 white defends the pawn with the rook. 30. rxd5 I win the pawn back. 31. rxe7 white brings the rook to the 7th rank, attacking the f7 pawn. 31. kf8 the king is forced to defend the pawn. 32. re5 plus white checks the king. 32. kilogram 7 the king moves to safety. 33. rxd5 white sacrifices the rook for another pawn. 33. RB8 I try to bring the rook into the game. 34, road 4 white improves the rook's position. 34. RB1 I attack the king's side. 35, G4 white pushes the pawn. 35. RB5 I attack the text B2 pawn. 36, BG5 white develops the bishop to a dangerous square. 36. RxG5 I capture the bishop, but it's a desperate measure. 37, RxC4 white captures the pawn. 37. RB5 I bring the rook back to the queen side. 38, kilogram 3 white brings the king into the game. 38. H5 I push the pawn, trying to create an escape square. 39, GxH5 white captures the pawn. 39. GxH5 I recapture. 40, KH4 white's king is incredibly active. 40. Kilogram 6 I centralize the king. 41, QD3 plus white checks the king, forcing it to move. 41, F5 I block the check with the pawn. 42, RC6 plus white checks the king again. 42. KH7 the king moves. 43, QXB5 white wins the rook. The material is overwhelming. 43. Kilogram 7 I move the king. 44, QXF5 white wins another pawn, and at this point, with so much material down, I had to resign. A very tough game where white's tactical response to my early pawn grabbing was brilliant.